I feel like I'm making a hole.
You are.
I'm messing up my
dough. You are definitely making a hole.
I am definitely
You're actually
messing
making
up my
donuts.
dough.
You're making donuts and cinnamon rolls.
I'm
and
making
that's
all
okay.
the sweet things.
Yes, exactly.
I am totally messing up my dough. What's your earliest memory of food?
Earliest memory of food is probably next to the stove in Atlantic City. We had a 4th floor attic apartment, and my father was a cook, my mom was a cocktail waitress, and we would make eggs in the morning. We would do pumpkin pie during Thanksgiving and things like that, but really just eggs in the morning, a couple eggs, a little bit of butter, a little salt, pepper, and that was it.
When did you start really taking cooking seriously?
It was a point to where I needed to survive and feed myself. And when I say survive, I mean more or less from a health standpoint. Crohn's is interesting because it makes you fear eating, right? It makes you fear trying to satisfy yourself through your palate. So what you have to do is find more food to cook. So while cooking for myself, while trying to nourish myself, while trying to gain new experience, I actually found myself cooking for others and finding joy and pleasure in that. And that all helped me heal myself. Not just the food and not just the items that I was cooking, but who I was doing it for, why I was doing it, and what that reaction was when I gave it to people or when I fed people.
So often when there are Black chefs and Black-owned restaurants, people are like, oh, soul food,
Sure.
you know, Jamaican food, food of the diaspora.
Sure.
And this is Italian food,
Sure.
and you recently opened a place that also has incorporated pizza.
Sure.
And what has that been like?
For me, when traveling around the world and when training myself or when going to find those experiences, I don't think about being a Black chef. I think about surviving for my family or for certain experiences in my past, and for the survival of my dream. And I know that the optics are soul food and this and Southern and ribs and all these things that, you know, we associate with our Southern cooking, but there's so much more. And I try to bring that. Yes, I can cook some ribs, and yes, I can cook some beef, but that comes from grandma.
Yeah.
That comes from my family. But as far as a business, I see food as competition. I see it as trying to find a way to reach out into new layers, into spaces that maybe I don't see myself in. You know, that's why I decided to do Italian. That's why I decided to do pizza. I never saw myself as a pizza chef. I never saw myself slinging pies. But I can tell you one thing, it is so much fun, and there's competitiveness in that, and I had to find that. And now that I found it, I can teach it, and if I can teach it, then I can inspire, and if I can inspire, then I can change.
So how do we start?
So let me get a couple of things. Let me see. And do is just gonna press. Start from the top, and then we're just gonna press all the way down. And then as we do, I'm gonna go in, almost like you're making little half moons. Okay. Press a little harder though.
Okay.
On the outsides. There we go.
This feels good.
It does feel good. It's a little cold on the dough. The dough's a little cold.
No,
it's
I like it.
warmer.
Oh,
But it's actually a little refreshing.
I say it feels good.
It feels like a cold pillow.
But this is what it means, I think, to walk in your purpose. And like you said, you were going after your dreams. And sometimes we don't see ourselves in those spaces, so we make space.
Sure.
So that other people can see themselves
Sure.
too.
Absolutely.
When you say that it was a roundabout way to the slinging pies thing, what was that?
My career started off essentially in New Jersey. I was working at Wendy's, and that was like I loved being there. I loved dropping fries. I loved the smell. I loved the steam, and I thought that this was not just a restaurant. This was not just about the food, but this was about the whole house. This was about the hospitality, right? This was about how we interact and how we treat each other. And I thought that if I can use this as my career growth, if I can use this as a part of who I am, then why not see this through? And being able to see that was life-changing for me. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? Especially in my shoes, knowing that I had Crohn's just 2 years earlier, knowing that I shouldn't have made it out of a hospital bed, knowing that I should have had a colostomy bag. All the things, all the perspective that I gained while I was in New Jersey, fighting to get out, fighting to find more, fighting for that next level of what the life experience is supposed to be like, right? And I wanted to make sure that I at least tried.
And I like the idea about not being able to unsee, because I feel like once you have expanded your dreams and you're like, oh, I can dream this. This is possible. And it's like your dreams get bigger and you step higher,
Sure.
which is, now you've got MIDA Newton. And
Sure.
don't you have another pizza endeavor?
Yeah, I do. So MIDA Newton just opened about a month ago, and now we're working on a pizza concept. So it's New Haven style pizza, and it's thin, it's chewy, it's charred, it's crunchy, it's crispy. It's all the things you want out of pizza. It's not oily. It's just it's the perfect style of pizza. You want a red sauce or white pie?
Red sauce.
Red sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna go white pie then.
I've had almost all of your pies.
Already?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you've been here more than me.
I comes to MIDA Newton. I'm just very excited for you. I mean, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and it's decimated so many businesses and restaurants.
Sure.
And I know even MIDA had to close for a little bit, but you pivoted, and here we are, and you're thriving.
We saw, working with people around us as the obvious answer to not only helping ourselves and keeping our community intact, but that's what you do. You help your neighbors. It's very intuitive. It's because I like a little extra spice.
Do mine like Salt Bae.
Okay. I can't do. He does it like me. I can't even. No.
Oh, he does do it like the chef. What do you see for the future of the city? I mean, we're in, not just in, the country is we're in a turning point. We're in it's like a shift in culture, a shift in thinking, and a shift of being, especially for our people, but also for the greater narrative of the country. What do you see happening? So
my hope is to, go to a great dance club because I can't wait to dance, especially since COVID. That's really all I want to do, is to go to a place and to hear about this place that's owned by some young Nigerian brother and some young Jewish man. And they came together and they did something cool, and now they have their mutual experiences involved in that, in the music, in the DJs, in the dance floor, in the paint colors, and the seating arrangement, whatever it may be, right? Based on both of their cultures. So I want to go to all these things that are just mixed, because mixed is always better. No matter how much you mix up the pot, no matter how many ingredients are in the soup, as long as it's made with love, right? As long as it comes from a place of people enjoying and people coming together, of knowing that this thing is to bring people together for the betterment of the city, for the betterment of a culture, not just Black culture or Asian culture or this culture, but of the culture of Boston.
I'm sorry, I love this answer. I'm so happy right now. Good. So often there's this, grind culture, and you got to give it all and do it all and never sleep. And how do you rest? Like, how do you create that space of like, I can't do it all. I can do what I can do, and I'm going to do that the best to my ability. But also like, I've got to rest. I've got to. You've got kids. You've got babies.
So I go hard, right? So I don't rest a lot. I don't get to give myself the breaks that I wanted. For the past 20 years, since I was 15, I had a mission, but I also had a reason. I had a why. My mom's been sick since I was 10. She's no longer with us, but I still use her as my main piece of fuel, right? When you have something traumatic or some sort of damage that happens to you, regardless of any age, but especially when you're younger, it can either go left for you, or it can go straight, and you have to figure out some forks in the road, but you can find the right path forward.
My mother was also sick and is no longer with us, so love to our mothers who helped us be who we are today.
I remember actually the smell and look of my mom's uniform first. I think that was like the first indication that she worked in a restaurant or worked in to serve people, because she always had this maroon shirt, like dark oxblood shirt with black pants, and I was like, okay, that's her her outfit, right?
Yeah.
That she always wears. I'm like, why she always wear the same outfit?
It's also her armor.
Yes, exactly. But she found pride in it, and she would always be ironing it, you know, and always got her name tag and like made sure it was straight. She always just took a lot of pride. Now you want to pick this up and essentially put it on top of almost like you're fighting.
It just smells like, I just distinctly remember being in kindergarten and my mom smelling like this all the time because of working at Pizza Hut.
What we see in our parents and what we see in our moms, and I don't know if it pushed me towards the service industry. It definitely made me more comfortable with it, but I should say it definitely made me feel more than the smells and the you know, outside things. I think it treating people nicely and trying to lend that experience, that great experience to someone every day is, you know, I don't know if it's inherent, but it definitely was passed on in some way.
Some of your earliest memories are, you know, your dad was a cook, your mom was in a service industry, the eggs.
Yes.
What are you cooking with the boys? What are you cooking with your children?
They make breakfast every single day. They want French toast, banana pancakes, scrambled eggs, or an omelet. They actually want omelets.
I mean, they're little. Like, how old are they
They're
now?
little. They're 3.5 now.
They're 3.5, yeah.
Yeah, 3.5, but they're 3.5 going on 30. They're huge people. No, but they have, when you do something every day and you love it, children naturally tend to attract to that, whether I was painting or, you know, professional wrestler, whatever I would be, hopefully they would be attracted to, but I'm so glad that it gets to be this mind-stomach connection for them. And that mind-stomach connection then there goes to the heart, and they get to spread that, whether they do it professionally or not. As long as they know how to cook and know how to feed themselves and know how to make people feel loved and cared for and watched over, that's all I'm trying to do, is just continue that, because that's what was done to me.
Legacy. And
Absolutely.
it's important. What you're teaching them, it's not just family, it is family legacy, but it's more than that. Like to your point, the mind, you know, food connection,
Yes,
and
of course.
our relationship with food.
And also general health.
General health. And you're teaching them that, and it's crucial. Like, I think much like, you know, swimming is a life skill that we need people to understand as a life skill, so is cooking and understanding food.
Thank you.
Good job.
Ciao.
My falling in love with MIDA, it was the music first, because I was waiting for my food. So the food came after me. I came in.
Good. Thank God it came. Okay,
You know, it
good.
came. But I came in and someone was like, "Oh yeah, MIDA's Black owned," and I was like, "I'm going to MIDA," and I came in, and Stevie Wonder was playing. All I did was playing, and I was like, "Playing all I do."
No,
It's
you don't
amazing.
hear that much.
Yeah, and it
You don't hear
was
that
playing,
much.
and I was just dancing in my chair, and my pancakes came, and I was like, "Oh my God, these pancakes are amazing!" And I was like dancing with my pancakes.
Yes, dancing with pancakes
Yes,
is
you know,
a way to get to harmony. That is definitely a way.
You know, and the thing that's great about MIDA is it's not soul food, but it sure is soulful. When you are, like, when I see you in the kitchen, it's like you just being your authentic self is always going to bring a soulfulness to it and a Blackness to it. Like your grandma, your great all of them walk with you into these spaces.
Sure. And I think what you're tasting and what you're feeling also too is what resonates and what is inherent to Black culture and cultures that we find very nurturing and comfortable is generosity. And I think that generosity piece, that's what MIDA means, she gives me or he gives me, and we translate that to generosity. And that generosity is what you are actually absorbing, in my opinion, as a guest.
To our parents.
Cheers.
Cheers. And I'll end this with what gives you joy.
Joy right now is honestly making sure that people leave this restaurant feeling fed, feeling loved, feeling nourished, feeling like their worldview has expanded, and feeling like they had a better meal than when they were in Italy. That brings me a lot of joy. And it tweaks that competitive nature too. But as long as I get to have teaching involved with what I do, competition, satisfaction, and generosity, those four things have to be involved with the process of me receiving joy.